Jamie Gorelick grew up in Great Neck, New York, with her father Leonard, a Russian immigrant who moved to the United States when he was 2 years old, and her mother, Shirley. She was born in Brooklyn, New York, to parents who had just migrated to the U.S. As a child, Jamie's parents took her and her siblings to Washington to participate in many of the civil rights and anti-war marches of the 1960s. Her parents' enthusiasm for the arts, dedication to their passions, and care for their community would help guide Jamie's success throughout her life. Jamie attended Harvard College and continued to Harvard Law School, where she received her JD degree. Jamie was one of about 100 women in a class of 550 students at Harvard. Her experience growing up in a family of immigrants and as a woman in a male-dominated academic setting informed her experiences at Harvard and gave her extra motivation to succeed. Jamie kicked off her career in law at white-collar litigation boutique Miller, Cassidy, LaRocca, and Lewin.
So she goes to work for this hard-charging group of prosecutors, and she's the only woman. Now, in the firm, as Jamie tells the story, the secretaries all called the partners and the associates by their first names. But when a client came in, they called them Mr. or Mrs. or Miss or whatever. And Jamie, when they had their first big client meeting, she was unsure how she should refer to the partners in the firm. And so she says to Jack Miller, do I call you Jack or do I call you Mr. Miller? Because the secretaries all call you Mr. Miller when there's a client in here. And he said, well, the guys all call each other by their first name. And so Jamie says, well, what am I? Am I one of the guys or am I a secretary? He says, oh, you're a guy.
Jamie first became involved in government service during her 3rd year as an associate at Cassidy Miller. She was recruited by a woman who was then general counsel at the U.S. Department of Defense to be vice chair of a commission at the Pentagon. After the commission ended, Jamie joined the transition team of the newly appointed Secretary of Energy before returning to Big Law as a partner.
When Jamie left our law practice together to go work for the newly appointed Secretary of Energy, I gave Jamie as a going-away gift a gavel and a block to bang the gavel on. And on the block, I had inscribed the words, Jamie's Law, quote, because I said so, close quote. I guess trying to be a nice way to recognize one of Jamie's characteristic for wrestling with a decision efficiently, making a decision, and moving on to the next thing that has to be resolved and decided.
In 1993, Jamie was confirmed as General Counsel of the Department of Defense. A year later, she became the Deputy Attorney General of the United States. During her years as Deputy Attorney General, Jamie helped improve coordination among intelligence and law enforcement agencies, reorganized the Justice Department's approach to crisis management, and supervised major criminal cases brought by the department's prosecutors. In the early 2000s, Jamie was a member of the Bipartisan National Commission on Terrorist Attacks upon the United States, the 9/11 Commission.
She was the workhorse for the 9/11 Commission. Most days she could look at secret documents and write memos that the rest of the commission then relied on because everybody, no matter what their views, everybody trusted Jamie.
In 2017, Jamie was honored with a Founders Award by the Tahirih Justice Center, a national nonprofit organization that provides legal, medical, and social support to immigrant women and girls fleeing from gender-based violence and persecution, for her work on that issue.
I have admired and respected Jamie for over 23 years. It started when I was a law student, and I had the honor of being involved in a case that was about a young woman receiving protection in the United States because of female genital mutilation, as well as a forced polygamous marriage. And that case set legal precedent in the United States. It was because of Jamie's courage, her legal pioneering attitude and fortitude that allowed this case to open up the doors to what we now call gender-based asylum in the United States.
Jamie has also been recognized as a Lifetime Achiever by the American Lawyer, has received the Now Legal Defense Fund's Aiming High Award and the American Bar Association's Margaret Brent Award.
Jamie is fearless. Where other people cower, she is fearless. She's the person who was not afraid to say to the FBI director when she was Deputy Attorney General, "No, you work for me, not the other way around. I'm the number 2 at the Justice Department, not you." There are not many people who are willing to do that and who have good reasons, can cite good reasons.
Today, Jamie maintains a strong interest in women's rights and in policies protecting the health and safety of women and families. She chairs the board of the Urban Institute, the largest policy research organization devoted to domestic issues like healthcare, criminal justice, and income inequality.
I've gotten to know Jamie in her capacity as one of Amazon's board members. I've worked with her for over half a decade, and I kind of feel like she's taken me a little bit under her wing as another lawyer. She's served as a living role model, I think, for a lot of our women lawyers in the legal department, but also our women technologists here at the company. And that's been an additional dimension where she's been a leader at Amazon and someone that I think has added a lot of value to our workplace and our culture.
Jamie Gorelick is currently a partner at WilmerHale, where she chairs the Regulatory and Government Affairs Department.
Everybody who knows Jamie knows her to be a skilled lawyer, a skilled advisor, but equally a sincere friend and a mentor to, now I guess, Jamie, we're old enough to say, generations of lawyers and professionals that have come after us.
The support that she's shown the women at this law firm really is unparalleled, and I know that I personally wouldn't be where I am in the firm if it was not for her. When my oldest daughter was 2 years old and I was still in the mix of transitioning back to the firm, and my daughter sometimes had to come to work with me. One day, Harper, 2 years old, was running around the hallways, and I see Jamie walking out of her office to go to a meeting, and I just go, oh my God, my kid is screaming in the halls, and there's Jamie. Jamie put down her bag, opened up her arms, and my 2-year-old ran and jumped up in them, and she lifted her up, like in her suit, as she was walking out to go to some meeting. And a lot of people see this hard-charging woman who is truly a force of nature, but in that moment, I saw this other side of her that I now see more often.
She goes above political affiliations to do what is just and fair and legally right, and she takes hits for it. She's been publicly criticized for her willingness to talk to people on all sides of the aisle, to represent people on all sides of the aisle, and I think that it's an incredibly admirable quality that we can all learn from right now.
So do you have a story or anecdote?
Yeah, well, Jamie is a pleasure to work with, and she's probably the only person on the planet who regularly calls me kiddo and pulls that off in a convincing way, and I love it, of course.
I suspect that she learned this early on. She didn't have to worry about gender specifics if she called everybody kiddo. Kiddo means you're part of my group. It doesn't mean you're a boy or a girl or a man or a woman or black or white. You're part of my group. Hey kiddo, could you do this for me? Or hey kiddo, I need your opinion about something. So I've always been kiddo, and I'm thrilled to be kiddo. There are legions of people who are kiddo. We're all part of the Jamie clan.
ChIPs has the distinct pleasure of awarding Jamie Gorelick the 2019 ChIPs Hall of Fame inductee, and thanks her for her continued work as a trailblazer for all of us.
Jamie, I want to congratulate you on your induction into the ChIPs Hall of Fame. It really seems to me like this is an honor that is tailor-made for you, and you, above almost anybody else in this country, belongs to be in the ChIPs Hall of Fame.
Congratulations, Jamie. You will be a star on the wall in ChIPs and any other Hall of Fame that you're in.
Congratulations, Jamie, on being inducted into the ChIPs Hall of Fame. It is so well deserved. They are lucky to have you, and I am so thrilled for this honor for you and for the legal community.
Jamie, congratulations on your induction into the ChIPs Hall of Fame. We're so proud of you. I'm so happy for you, and it's great to know that others know how amazing you are. It's something we've always known, but it's great to see the recognition. Congratulations.
Jamie, congratulations on being inducted into the ChIPs Hall of Fame. It's an incredibly impressive list of women, and you totally belong on that list. You serve as a role model, not just for me, but I know particularly for all the ChIPs members in the Amazon legal department. It's just wonderful to have you as Amazon's representative in addition to everything else you bring. So thank you very much and congratulations.